Well, let's continue here tonight. Muslim marriages may soon be included in the Divorce Act. As it stands, unregistered Muslim marriages are not recognized under South African law. It makes it difficult for Muslim women and children in particular to benefit from legal protection in the event of a marriage ending. Now, the public has until the 8th of September to make written submissions when it comes to the current amendments that the legislature is dealing with. For more on the story, I'm joined by Associate Attorney at Adams & Adams, Courtney Elson. Courtney, good evening to you. Thanks for your time tonight. It was a breakthrough moment in 2022 when the Constitutional Court declared parts of the current Divorce Act unconstitutional, because for the first time, many Muslim women felt that finally their position in their marriages is being recognized in the law.
Yes, so we're seeing it a bit more often now. The legislature is continuing to play catch up in family law to ensure that the law is aligned with our constitution and with the goals that South Africa wishes to achieve as a democracy, including equality. And as you mentioned, our legislation as it stands doesn't regulate all religious marriages in South Africa, and that includes Muslim marriages. So as a result, Muslim couples who choose to marry according to Islamic or Sharia law are not afforded the statutory protection in terms of South African family law as other marriages are, unless they have actually registered their marriage at Home Affairs. So those marriages that are not registered at Home Affairs as civil marriages are simply just not recognized in our law. And that actually differs from the current position with regard to customary marriages, because those are recognized as marriages in South Africa and are subject to the South African family law, even where those marriages are not registered. So you mentioned the Constitutional Court case. The amendment is where that stems from.
When we talk about making sure that legislation really aligns with the Constitution, if we look at this particular aspect specifically, when you look at sort of how the broader society and the Muslim community have received that court judgment, I think there's been an opportunity to reflect on it and to reflect on the implications. What is that going to do, especially now that we have this process open for public comment and the actual amendments are going to have to be tested far and wide?
Yes, absolutely. So at this stage, as you said, it hasn't been implemented. And I think it's important that the public does make the necessary comments while we are still in this phase, so that the amendments can cover any loopholes which there may be in future. So recognition of Muslim marriages is something that's actually brand new to our law, and we can expect that there would be unforeseen consequences that will need to be addressed when the law is applied in practice.
When it comes to the amendments that you think need to be looked into, what are some of those on the table?
So the aim of the amendment bill is to extend the Divorce Act to Muslim marriages, and that is to protect Muslim women and their children at the dissolution of a marriage. And as I said earlier, to ensure that the legislation is in line with the Constitution. So what they are looking at is to include a definition of Muslim marriages in the Divorce Act, and they've defined that as a marriage which is entered into or concluded in accordance with the tenets of Islam. The courts are going to be granted a power to dissolve Muslim marriages, which they don't have at the present moment. And there are mechanisms which are going to be included to safeguard the welfare of minor and dependent children born from Muslim marriages. So that would include dealing with maintenance, guardianship, care, and contact of the minor and dependent children in a divorce, and obviously ensuring that those children's best interests are sought after. And then there are two further aspects pertaining to the patrimonial or the property consequences of a marriage, which will now apply to Muslim marriages. And that is a claim for redistribution of assets on the dissolution of a marriage and forfeiture of patrimonial benefits. And when we look at the redistribution claim, they are also going to extend the factors that should be considered to include any contract or agreement between parties in a Muslim marriage where the husband is a spouse in more than one Muslim marriage. So that will aim to protect women who are in polygamous Muslim marriages.
in the long run, including even with these amendments, the implementation thereof, what do you foresee as being some of the challenges? I would imagine that having the greater buy-in of the Muslim community is going to be central.
Yes, absolutely. And as I said, it is a brand new concept in our law. And unfortunately, it's a brand new concept in our law. So there are going to be a few teething problems. I do think that it is a step in the right direction, though. And culturally, I think that there could be some kickback from some who may feel that the law is interfering with their customs or with their religion.
All right. Courtney Elson will certainly then look out to see what some of these submissions before Parliament on this particular amendment and proposed amendments then will be.